Catamounts under the direction of first-year head coach Stephanie McCormick, a former assistant in Cullowhee. 2 different times an assistant in Cullowhee.
She's a journeywoman. And a lot of stops in Cullowhee. Must enjoy the mountains.
They're getting treated to a pretty entertaining game here. With Robin Muller, I'm Darren Goldwater. Furman and ETSU trading punches. Charter and Bridges leading the way for the Bucks. Bunn and Wilkins pacing the Paladins. Here's Dean, who's putting together a great second half, although she doesn't have the follow.
A great second half on the boards, and there's Charter forcing the turnover, getting in the mix.
Bridges, another tough 3. She's already made a few of those today. Robin and I were having some fun at the end of the third quarter. Bunn has 22 points today, so she's over 1,250 in her career. If she averages about 35 a game next year, she could become the all-time leading scorer for the Paladins. But with about 25 a game, she could pass her head coach next year with a great year and be the second all-time leading scorer at Furham.
The first all-time leading scorer, Rusha Brown, has set a pretty high bar. In fact, went on to play overseas and in the WNBA. And 35 a game, that'd be a lot of scoring.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points. However, the 25 a game is doable, especially if you have 1 or 2 explosive games and get a couple 30s under your belt.
It's a ways to go, but Bunn will be all over the Furman record, but she's already the all-time leader in assists. I'm not sure what the pause here is, but we've got it all squared away. Duncan traveled with it.
And Duncan needed to be confident enough to put up that shot just inside the arc area. That's a decent shot for a versatile post player. Tried to create a little too much.
Long arm Kelsey Ellis out on Tiana Tartar over there. Late in the shot clock. Bunn cuts off Bridges, who tries to draw the foul but doesn't.
A wild shot by Bridges. Bunn right there did a good job of keeping off defensively, backing out of the play a little bit.
Oh, Carter took an extra step. On that last play, when Bridges was right into Whitney Bunn, she caught her on the follow-through in the eye. Whitney Bunn still kind of wincing a little bit.
And then Carter's really been struggling in this second half. She had some great offensive production in the first half, and of late, almost forcing shots that aren't really there for her.
Talk about forcing. Christopher tried to do that into the middle of the lane. If you're just tuning in, Furman had a 13-point lead early on when they were on fire to start the game. ETSU methodically got back into this game, took their first lead late in the first half, traded punches in the third quarter before a big run for the Paladins. Put them back on top.
Raven Dean deflecting that pass out. Might have had a little contact on the backside. The officials are letting him play. Now the call on Duncan for the hold.
Duncan and Raven Dean really going at it just outside the lane.
2 players on the all-freshman team. 2 post players to keep an eye on in the future.
Question here is who's going out of the game?
Yeah. Well, Woods gave the towel to Duncan, which is generally the signal to I'm subbing for you. However, it was Sierra Carter that came out.
Now you can grab this ball in the backcourt even though it was a busted play. Nobody touched it. Ellis has done a nice job on Tartar the last few possessions.
Ellis has had a tough assignment right here, and I think you're exactly right. She's done a great job. If you can keep Tartar out, away from the basket, you have a better chance of keeping the offense a little more stagnant.
Staying on this end of the floor, just over 7 minutes to go, fourth quarter. In our 4-5 matchup, the Paladins, the 5th seed, and the Bucks, both of whom come in with a bit of a losing streak. ETSU's lost 3 straight. Furman lost its last 2 coming down the stretch. Tarter with a crossover. First time she got the better of Ellis, but didn't have the finish.
And Tarter keeps looking for a whistle, a foul call. I think on that particular possession, Furman did a nice job of defending off the ball enough. The shot was wild. It was put up hard. It was a good no-call situation.
Bunn circles it back out. She's played in every minute of this game. So has Holli Wilkins. And so have the big two for ETSU, Shamaria Bridges and Tiana Tarter. All four of them have been on the floor every second of this game.
Well, and Tarter and Bunn both are in the top 40 in the NCAA in minutes played. Tarter averaging about 36 and a half, and Bunn right behind her. They're no strangers to a lot of playing time.
You could think tournament time, you got to manage the minutes, but it's a little bit different for the second straight year as Christopher has a big putback for ETSU, their first points of the quarter. Second straight year that the women's bracket plays day one, day two, then has a break, and then comes back on Sunday for the championship.
And you can leave it all on the floor, especially in the semifinals tomorrow, but you've got to leave it on the floor considering if you don't get past your first game, you're not going anywhere.
It is pretty much over at that point. Tips called for the foul. Holli Wilkins to the line.
Wilkins doing, again, a great job putting the ball on the floor. We've seen that she has ability to hit the long-range shots. Very effective when she can get to the inside of the defense. Struggling a little bit from the free throw line. That is an area of weakness for her.
Got that one. Dean drives into the body of Wood, throws it back in to Kelsey Ellis, who lost it down to Carter.
Whitney Bunn quickly recovering back to Bridges. You can't give Bridges a whole lot of daylight, and Bunn was going to make sure that she could at least contest it.
Furman has locked down defensively in this quarter. Both teams have.
Both teams are struggling to get any offense going. We saw a flurry of scoring before.